Let's start with your Derby Day lineups here then at the Recreation Ground, and of course we'll start with the home team in Whitehaven. They line up with Dan Abram at fullback, a switch from halfback for Dan. He's in the fullback role this afternoon. On the wings it's Mitchell Todd and Max Anderson Meward even, Chris Taylor and Joe Hartley in the centres. It's a halfback partnership with Jack Newbegin and Ethan Bickerdike. Starting props Jake Pearce and Jordan Thompson, Ellison Allgate in at hooker. Second rows are Connor Holliday and Rio McQuiston, with Jack Kellett in at loose forward. On the interchange bench, Brad Brennan, Ellis Nixon, Clark Chambers and Josh Blinkhorn. The 18th man, if needed this afternoon for Whitehaven, is Carl Garner. And with your Workington Town line-up, Dave Parkinson.
Yes, Workington line-up with Zarin Galea at full-back. Out on the wings, it's Dave Eccleston and man who's on dual registration from Castleford Tigers, and Djeukessi, who's in some supreme form at the moment. Centres, Max Clark coming in for his debut, the former Barrow man, making his bow for Workington this afternoon, alongside Levi Atiga, who was very good, him and Djeukessi last week. In at half-back, it's Jake Carter and Don Weir. Front row of Ross Ainley, Callum Phillips and Stevie Scoley. A back row of on-loan men from Hull, Lennon Clark and Zach Jepson, and Jack Stevenson locks the scrum. It's a bench of Jamie Doran, Lucas Castle, Guy Graham and Cooper Howler, and the 18th man, if needed, Cole Walker-Taylor.
We were only seconds away from kick-off here at the Recreation Ground, BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. It's Derby Day in West Cumbria, and we are underway with Workington kicking off to Whitehaven. Jake Carter, Whitehaven will be attacking the railway end in first half, and Jordan Thompson is the man to fetch it forward, and he's met there by 4 of 5 colours in the pink and black of Workington Town. Max Anderson Mewers now looking to be the man to fetch it forward. He's put down onto his front to be Holgate in there at dummy half. Now Jack Kellett looking to fetch Whitehaven forward, and 23-24 metres away from his own line. Holiday now will take Whitehaven over their own 30 and has done well there to get to sort of 15 metres short of halfway. Comes down the short side into the hands of Ethan Bickerdike, and Bickerdike's found 15 plus metres and take Whitehaven over the halfway line. It is the 5 and last, only a metre or 2 over halfway. It'll go left from Holgate into the hands of Dan Abram. Abram puts the kick up end over end. Galea be right underneath it, collected 22 out from his own line.
Yes, and Galea takes over, and it's straight to that 30 metre line where he runs it, and he's tackled by 2 Whitehaven players. In at dummy half is Carter, and he ships it infield looking for Eccleston, and the defence finds him. It was a good 3-man stop there, but the holding down, and that'll be the first penalty of the game, which will go the way of Town. Referee this afternoon, Aaron Belafonte from Huddersfield. He was standing none of that.
Yeah, it was having none of that, and it's something Whitehaven really need to sort out. It cost them in the early stages against Goole last week, and we've seen how that ended up for Whitehaven. They need to keep themselves clean, tidy in these opening stages, because they won't want a blowout like last week.
It's a free 30 metres that Whitehaven have given Workington Town as well, and it's going to be debutant Max Clark to get us back underway once he dispatched the second ball, which has somehow found its way onto the pitch, and he finds Carter. He in turn finds Scoley twists, turns, put down on that 40 metre line. Good tackle there from Jordan Thompson. He comes to this left hand side with Carter lines it up for Galea skims across. There was again an after shot, you can say, really, there on Carter, and 2 early penalties the way of Town. They're going to have to get themselves together here, Whitehaven.
Yeah, they certainly have. Stopped the clock as well as Aaron Belafonte. Jake Pearce with the man with the late shot on Jake Carter, and it was after the ball had gone. It wasn't even close, and Jake Pearce is trying to protest his innocence. You can protest all you want, Jake. It was a late shot. You knew exactly what you were doing. And Connor Holliday just gives him a tap on the shoulder and say, let's not do that again. And I think Town are going to look to get the early 2 points on board. They certainly are, Dave.
How big's our referee, by the way? He's just swamped Jake Pearce, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a penalty attempt from about the 30 metre line, just inside it, actually. Just to the left-hand side of the upright. So he'll have to give it a bit of a whack, I think. But this to potentially give Town an early advantage. Has been successful with 50 goals so far this season. Certainly his place kicking has been top notch. Has he got his range? Will he find it? Takes his time, steps up, strikes it. Oh, and he's put it wide. There you go. So we remain scoreless. It's going to be a dropout from the 20 metre line. I don't think that was quite on the cards.
I don't think it was, Dave. I was expecting to say it was Whitehaven 0, Workington Town 2. He's a fantastic striker of the ball, is Jake Carter, and to be fair, it was struck quite true. There was plenty of distance on it. There just wasn't the aim there from Jay Carter in town, now looking to fetch the ball forward through Ross Ainley.
Yeah, Ainley crossing that 40-metre line inside his own half. He's going to play this ball to Phillips. Phillips is lining play up to his right hand side, and Djeukessi takes his first carry. Good first shot as well from him. Good 10 metres gained, plays it to Phillips, who concentrates play down that right hand side, goes to Atiga. Really looking forward to seeing how that right wing pairing develops over these next few matches between Atiga and Djeukessi. That was a real scrappy play of the ball. Infield it's moved. Weir plays it out the back to Carter. Carter takes the line on himself. He had Lennon Clark for company there, but didn't use him, and ended up taking that tackle in the middle of the field from Pearson Holiday. Now here is Weir weaving his way towards that 20-metre line, which is where he'll play it on this left hand side of the field. Ball comes in. Carter gets his kick away under a bit of pressure, and Abram will take it really comfortable. It's not Abram, he's on the far wing, isn't he? Mitch Todd, I think it is.
Max Anderson-Miller on that far wing, but he's been able to give a penalty there as Mr. Belafonte. Just wait to see exactly the signal for, because I thought he definitely would have been in trouble, would Max Anderson-Miller, but I think a push off the ball with a man like trying to, the man that's shielding him has pushed him, essentially a tackle off the ball. Whitehaven's kicked 30 metres, and it will be Max Anderson-Miller to go and collect that ball. He'll pass it inside to Joe Hartley, who will take the tap and then pass inside to Newbegging. Out then the back to Jordan Thompson. So not make too many metres there of Whitehaven, more laterally than forward, a metre or so. Holgate in there at dummy half. Kellett now out the back then to Bickerdike, who finds Dan Abram. Dan Abram's through the line. Chris Taylor taken out in the back play. Max Clark a bit dangerous with what he's done there. He's got away with it. Bickerdike now, the man in a dummy half, finds Jack Kellett. Taken down. 41 metres away from the town line. Just to the right of centre. Holgate in a dummy half. Goes into centre now with Jake Pearce. Out the back then to Newbegging. Finds Dan Abram. Abram comes off the town man's hands, goes backwards. It's going to be a penalty here. Another man that's taken off the ball. So it's 2 penalties apiece in the early stages. Just into the 6th minute. Will Whitehaven attempt to call for 2, Dave?
Tell you what, I'd quite fancy it, to be honest.
Well, with the kick and boot of Dan Abram, I'd fancy it as well with that. And Whitehaven are going to elect to go for goal. It's a typical derby clash in the early stages. Neither side want to give anything away, and when soon as they get an opportunity, they're going for goal.
They certainly are, yeah. And we've already seen a couple of penalties each, haven't we? So these early clashes are always interesting. And Whitehaven with this opportunity to add the first points of the game.
Dan Abram will be the man to put the ball down on the kicking boot. 33, 34 metres out. I'd say just in line with the left hand side post. So he'll just try and hit it straight and true. Will Dan Abram. Of course, many will remember his heroics back in 2018 where he kicked the winning derby conversion back-to-back games that season, when Workington were really ahead. It's similar sort of circumstances. Workington up further in the league, but Whitehaven were able to get the better of the two on that occasion. Dan Abram hits it straight and true and converts and adds the 2 points. It's the first points in the West Cumbrian derby here at the Recreation Ground. 6.5 on the clock. It is Whitehaven 0, Workington 0. Sorry, Whitehaven 2, Workington 0.
That was really well struck by Dan Abram. There was no nerves there at all. He just sort of struck it, watched it, knew that it was going between the posts, and it's early advantage to Whitehaven, and Workington back on the halfway line to kick this off through Jake Carter. Carter looking for distance.
Be Jack Newbegging to get underneath it, and he does. A couple of metres away from his own try line, and Jordan Thompson, the man once again to fetch it forward. 12-13 metres. Ellison Holgate's calling for the potential high tackle there on Thompson, but it wasn't so. Max Anderson-Miller now looking to try and fetch his side forward. There's 3 in town colours pushing him back, and have pushed him back 3 or 4 metres there, more laterally than backwards, but I have pushed him backwards a little bit. Holgate in at dummy half now and finds Chris Taylor. Taylor finds his front before trying to put him on his back at Jay Carter and Stevie Scorley. Bickerdike now into Kellett out the back to Newbegging. Dan Abram once more into the hands now with Joe Hartley. Hartley's nearly through on that left hand side. Brought down 5 metres short of halfway. Whitehaven looking to go to the edges in the early stages here. Into the hands now of Jordan Thompson in for his second tackle of the set, but it is the 5 and last, just over halfway. Will go down the short side into the hands of Newbegging, who gets the kick away. He's adding Galea that looks to be underneath it, 12 metres or so away from his line as he fetches the ball forward.
Yeah, pouched that well, did Zaran Galea. Takes the 2-man challenge as well that heads his way. He's 15 out from his own line right at the start of this set, picked up out of dummy half by Eccleston, who buys his side a further 5 metres, but hard fought metres. And then again, they concentrate play down that right side. Levi Atiga, though, taking the step, taking the carry, taking the tackle. 2 players in on the stop. He's managed to clear the ruck as well as Phillips releases it to Weir. Weir, it's Carter. Carter finds Galea all the way down this left-hand side, looking for Eccleston. Eccleston well held on this occasion by Todd. Clark moves it in to the other Clark, Lennon Clark, who takes the carry. He's been in really good form in his first couple of games that he's played for Town, and he knew that holiday was coming.
He certainly did.
Kick comes in from Carter. Ooh, that's spinning, that's twisting. Ooh, and he gets nowhere near it. Does Max Anderson Moore has to come for it and eventually drops on it and does a knock on.
I'm not too sure on that from referee Adam Belafonte.
Yeah, I'm not
unless he's dive on it and there was a little fumble, which maybe we couldn't see from here, but he definitely didn't get his hands on anywhere near it when he get his. When he went to get, he just sort of let it go, didn't he? He didn't want to collect it. He's saying that he had time in front of him as well. I'm going to take my chances. He had to dive on the ball essentially to ensure that he was going to keep hold of the ball. But referee Aaron Belafonte has another choice in mind. He's given the scrum down, heading feet to Town, which Don Weir will feed.
Town on the 20-metre line. Ball comes to the left to Carter. He links it out with Max Clark. Clark takes 2 players. They're pushing him towards the touchline. He's going to stay within the field of play, though. Did well there in the end. And Carter in at dummy half. He'll link it with Lennon Clark. Big run from him. Big collision as well. Well done, Jake Pearce. That was a cracking challenge. 10 metres out from the line, though, Workington Town. Phillips takes the scamper, links with Carter. Carter across to the right-hand side to Weir.
There's numbers there.
Oh, Weir, his pass wasn't really very, very good. It was kicked forward by Atiga, and then, well, I think that, will that not be a penalty?
No, he's given that Max Anderson Moore wasn't held. His elbow hadn't hit the floor, and it's going to be another scrum down heading feet to Workington Town here.
I should explain it a little bit better what happened there, because Atiga grabbed the man, didn't he, and he threw him into touch.
Yeah,
like manhandled him.
Tallis on Brett Hodgson.
Yes.
Back in State of Origin. I mean, we're talking 25 years ago since that happened, but similar. Just didn't have hold of the scruff of the neck, just grabbed him and thrown him over the touchline. Judged not to have been held was Max Anderson Moore. Town start 10 metres out.
More pressure building here, and it's Ross Ainley with that first carry of this set. He's about 5 metres out from the line in centre field. Phillips will work it to his right hand side. Weir across to Atiga, big handoff comes in. He's diving for the line. He's in. There was absolutely no stopping Levi Atiga there. You've got to be really on him so quickly. His handoff, he's like a piston, and he gets in on that far right hand side for try number 7 of his campaign. Really good work.
Similar try to what he scored in the Good Friday meeting, wasn't it? He was able to get himself in at the corner, held the man off, held the defence off. Max Anderson Moore focusing on Djeukessi on the right hand side, tried to get involved. It was too little too late from Max Anderson Moore, and the Tigers being able to ground that ball in that right hand side corner. You mentioned his 7th try of the season, Dave. He had a bit of a rocky start to the season, didn't he? Initially he didn't get them tries, but once he hit that try scoring form in the West Cumbrian derby, he's practically been unstoppable since.
It's great to see him back in, because he has been missing for a few weeks. You know, sort of with injury, a punctured lung, I believe. So to come back from that, and he's now 2 games into his comeback. I mentioned before about informing what's looking like a dangerous right side pairing with Andy Djeukessi, and he showed a lot of strength there, didn't he? But for me, Whitehaven, they didn't swarm him in quite the way that I expected. They stood off him, and then the handoff came in, and that was it.
It seemed to be a man short. There was a big gap between Joe Hartley, who maybe had sort of dived in to maybe cover that gap, and Max Anderson Moore had stayed in on the wing to try and focus on Andy Djeukessi, and he just wasn't able to close that gap.
Carter from the touchline with the conversion. He's hit the post. And it bounces out. So scoreline here: Whitehaven 2, Workington 4. And we'll come back to the halfway line. But that was a really well taken try, that.
Yeah, really well taken try. And to be fair, Jay Carter's been really unlucky with the 2 attempts he's had a goal so far. He struck them really cleanly, and he just haven't fallen in favour there for Jay Carter. Otherwise, this could be potentially 8-0, because Whitehaven might not have had the opportunity to come up the field.
I'm not going to comment about his goal kicking for the rest of the game, because I think I built him up on his first one.
Keep doing it, then. Whitehaven fans at home will be loving it. Keep doing it. Dan Abram with the kick-off. It'll bounce, and it's Andy Djeukessi, the man to pick it up.
Yeah, he's picked it up inside his own 20-metre line, drives his way forward, and he's forced 2 players back. He's got a lot of upper body strength as Andy Djeukessi. Plays it about 20 metres from his try line. Then Ross Ainley takes over. It's a big carry from a man who was here for 2 seasons. Shipped out to the right hand side.
Early change being introduced. Looks like Cooper Howlett's getting himself ready. Looks like Town might be struggling with a man out there.
We'll see how that develops as the ball moved infield for Ainley. Ainley rolled on his back. Good tackle. Good control by Jack Kellett and by Thompson in particular. Scully linking out the back with Carter. Carter kicking long. Eccleston's after this one. He's chasing down the ground. It's a foot race between him and Todd. And then Todd just about wins it. Kicks it out of play.
Oh,
hang on! I thought Todd kicked that out of play.
He did.
And this has been real. There's a 20-metre tap restart.
Absolutely, he did. Yeah, no, absolutely. Wow. It's who's the man that's come off? It's 23. It's Zach Jebson who's come off.
Zach Jebson straight off.
Howlett going into what is his natural position in back row, it looks like.
Yeah, I know recently over the last couple of weeks he has been interchanging with the front row. So we'll see how he gets on. But wow, what a call that was.
Yeah, the wrong call. Let's be completely honest. Todd had kicked it dead. Whitehaven lucky to have this set, but they're now fetching it forward. This will be third tackle when Jake Pearce is the man put down onto his back just over his own 48 short of the halfway line. Holgate in there at dummy half into the hands now of Jordan Thompson, and Thompson tries to spin and twist his way up the tackle and makes good 3 or 4 metres going backwards post contact there with Jordan Thompson just over halfway. Holgate looks to go right, then goes left himself on dummy half, and nearly through the line there is Ellison Holgate, pulled down, 4th tackle on the Workington 40, goes left into the hands of Newbeck and looking for a little chip over the top. Andy Djeukessi's all over that. Zadingalia was all over that. Djeukessi gets there. Must have been a last minute shout because Zadingalia knew just to pull out at the last moment.
Yeah, and I had visions of the two of them colliding in backfield actually just for a second, but fortunately it's two quick men and they were able to sidestep each other. Now Eccleston taking over with the carry, trying to get the better of that particular play, but he's got Holiday all over him. Good tackle there as Clark comes forward down this left hand side. It vaulted over the challenge, paces round the neck. Clark complains bitterly, there's no penalty forthcoming. Here's Stevenson. Mr. Granite gets forced backwards.
Nearly a little bit of a fumble there from Stevenson as well. He done very well to keep hold of that as his elbow hit the floor.
Scully, little step, tries to go over the top of Thompson, tries to regain his feet. Referee waves play on and all on. And it's another set of 6 tackles coming up here down the left hand side with Clark. It's going to be a really tough battle between these back rowers. Referee saying that Lennon Clark is holding Holgate in the tackle. Meanwhile, Stevie Scully takes over, takes the drive, gets beyond the 40 metre line. 35 metres out from the try line in centre field. Phillips will move this ball left. Carter options, takes on the defence however, does well to escape the clutches of the first man but can't escape the clutches of 2 and 3, but there's another penalty here for Workington Town.
And it's another man that's been taken off the ball. I feel like it's a little bit harsh on Whitehaven there. Zach Jebson had sort of went in quite close to contact near Jake Carter, but the man was taken out. But I feel it is a bit of a harsh call. But it's one to get given. Town not electing to go for goal on this occasion. Carter kicks the touch. They'll start these 12-13 metres away from the Whitehaven try line.
Let's see if Town can build something into this set. It's going to be Max Clark to tap it. He's got Carter to his right hand side. Referee just checking everybody's back, gives the OK. Clark taps, Carter releases it to Stevenson in the middle, twists and spins. He's about 12 metres out directly in front of the post. Callum Phillips picks up, goes to the right. Carter links with it's them spill, but then goes out wide. It will be a try.
Got to have been forward.
It didn't look neat. I'm going to say that. It didn't look neat. The ball worked its way out to Andy Djeukessi, and Djeukessi has his 5th try in Town colours. I couldn't have asked for that to be any scrappier going out to that right hand side.
It was really scrappy. I think it was Atiga that looked to get the pass forward to Andy Djeukessi, and it just looked forward from our angle. Of course, we're far away from it, but you know, there was a few in Whitehaven colours that straight away shouted for that potential forward pass. There was a few in the Kells End, which is a packed Kells End this afternoon, I must say, due to the weather here at the recreation ground. It's quite a still afternoon. I think this rain's with us right throughout the contest. There's no wind in the air at all, so it isn't going to push it away. But on that occasion, Town have got in that right hand side corner. The informed man for Workington Town, Andy Djeukessi, it's his 5th try of the season, and Jake Carter will have another opportunity to try and get his first 2 points of the afternoon. 17 and a half gone.
Pretty muggy afternoon as well, isn't it, down here?
Yes, I've had to take the coat. It's warm.
But yeah, I can understand perhaps a couple of the responses here from the crowd actually as the ball went wide, because it didn't look clean. It looked like it should have been called back, but Town riding their luck, getting that try in the corner from Djeukessi. And in a way, does that make up for the error that the referee came up with a little bit earlier?
Could do, yeah, it could do.
So Carter from that touchline, he struck that one well. Add another 2 points to the Town tally. Currently Whitehaven 2, Workington 10.
Anthony Murray won't be happy with his side start. Don't think Jordan Thompson had heard the held call that when he went to go and bring Stevie Scully down. He maybe thought Scully was going to go for the for break down the middle. So just need to be aware of his surroundings and listening to the official. And Conor Holliday's trying to speak to Adam Belafonte, and let's be honest, Mr. Belafonte isn't too interested in what Conor Holliday's got to say. Abram with the kick-off and looking for Djeukessi, that sort of area once more.
Oh, he struggled with it, Djeukessi, but then hands on to Cooper Howlett. He curves his way in towards the middle of the field. This is where he'll play it 20 metres from his own line. Oh, and that's a great bit of forced error there from Holliday. He really got amongst Phillips, forced that error. Just hit him at the right moment around dummy half, didn't they? How
often do you hear the coaches say, Dave, about that set after kick-off? You must complete that set after kick-off. How important it is just to keep yourself in the game, not to give your opposition some easy ground. Workington not able to do that on that occasion, but Whitehaven now potentially where they've started the furthest forward in this game so far, going to start 20 metres out.
That was smart from Holiday though. Really good.
Ball comes left from the base of the scrum into the hands of Jack Newbegin. Newbegin now finds Joe Hartley. Hartley tries to twist out of the tackle, does the on-loan centre. 12 metres out here are Whitehaven. Holgate in there at dummy half. Now comes across into the hands of Jordan Thompson, and Thompson's met by the Town defence. But they're now within 10 metres are Whitehaven. Holgate in at dummy half. Comes right into the hands now with Newbegin. Now finds Biggerdike. Biggerdike finds Conor Holliday. Holliday just dragged down at the last moment by the Town defender. He looked to be in, did the Whitehaven captain. Holgate in there at dummy half. Then now pops it up for Jack Kellett. Can Kellett power his way over? He can't. He's going to be pulled down as well. Knocking on the door here. Space aches of it to the left hand side. They're looking to go there now with Newbegin. Newbegin looks to take the line on. Looks through. Gets you off a little way to Dan Abram. Abram gets the ball down. Does he? He's held up. He's held up. He's Dan Abram.
Great work, Djeukessi. Somehow got underneath it. There's a bit of a disagreement behind the post now.
Just seeing the Whitehaven physio mouth. Wow, that must have been close.
That was a super tackle.
It was fantastic recovery defence from Workington Town. And of course Dan Abram, we've mentioned his history in this fixture, being dragged down held up over the line, and Whitehaven have another couple of tackles left in the bank. Stevie Scully having a word, has been brought out to have a word with Adam Belafonte, and he's calling out Conor Holliday now. He's eventually stopped the clock. And I think this is Mr. Belafonte being his maybe sort of school teacher in within there, and say this is how this isn't going to happen. You aren't going to do this all the time. I'm the one who will decide whether there's any infringements in there, not you guys.
Oh, there's an instant report on report as well. So perhaps the aftermath of that has been put on report.
Oh no,
it's an alleged bite.
It's alleged bite. Stevie Scully pointing. Oh, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's maybe why the incident had kicked off. Whitehaven play it 5 and last into the hands now with Rio McQuiston. I don't think Whitehaven have heard that 5 and last call. It wasn't very well signalled by our man in the middle, Mr. Belafonte. He just put his hand up in the air briefly, then put it down, but it is going to be turnover ball.
To be fair, Whitehaven should have known.
Certainly should have done.
They should have known where they were in that. I thought it was a bit of naive play, to be honest, down that left hand side, and this is where I'm sure that Whitehaven will get better, but well, they'll get better with defence like that on Djeukessi, that's for sure. He stopped just 2 metres out from his own line. Phillips picks up out of dummy half, hands it on to Atiga. The work that Atiga can do in his own half like this, it's unheralded. But look at that, there's 4 or 5 players on him. He's still got out to the 20 metre line. That's a wonderful drive down that right hand side from Atiga. Comes back towards the middle, and Stevie Scully. It's a great battle between him and Jordan Thompson, by the way.
It really is.
It's really, really warmed up in this first 20 minutes as Weir finds Carter out to Clark with a running opportunity, steps as well. He's a big awkward looking character as he's tackled and dragged towards the touchline. Ball comes out, referee will rule it as a ball steal. I have to admit, I agree with that. I thought it was. He tackled around the ball. You can't do that in that way. He'd leave it out. It looked untidy.
Yeah, it was untidy. I sort of exclaimed more because it's another penalty conceded by Whitehaven. 4 in the opening 23 minutes here at the Recreation Ground. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. 23rd minute, Whitehaven 2, Workington 10. It'll be Max Clark to take the tap from the penalty.
Yes, and Ross Ainley follows through to the middle. Tries to twist his way through that challenge, but
I love Ross Ainley's little smile in there as he knew it was Connor Holliday's, and then Connor Holliday's got up and had a massive smile as he moved as well. We mentioned in the build-up it's mate versus mate. It's a bit of a war at the moment, but straight after the game both of these sides will be having a beer with each other.
Definitely, yeah. Carter dropping the ball back to Scully. Scully takes on Thompson again. I'm really watching how that's developing. That's brilliant. It's a brilliant clash between those two players. He plays it 30 metres out from the line. It goes to Carter. Carter throws a dummy. Oh, he's through the line. He's got support to his left. It's going to be a try for Workington Town. Following up on that left-hand side, Lennon Clark, but he was like a hot knife through butter, was Jake Carter, and it's another try assist for him this season, moving the scoreline on. It's now Whitehaven 2, Workington 14. That was clinical.
Exactly what you want your half-back doing, Dave, when they realise there's a gap there, and I think we've had another meeting of minds. Following that, there was a Whitehaven player that slid in on Lennon Clark after the sort of, trying to fetch him down, but way after Clark has been brought down. I don't think we've seen anything from it. But following that, absolutely clinical as anything from Jake Carter. That little sidestep, and it filled Jake Pearce all ends up, and he was able to get his way through. Lennon Clark on the support, as you want any back rower doing when your half-back breaks through. Able to get there was Lennon Clark. Is that his first try in a Workington Township?
It certainly is, yes. It's his first try for Town. It was Zach Jebson who kind of got the plaudits last week, but for me, Lennon Clark's been so solid. He's my sort of second rower because he just grafts and grafts and grafts all the way through the game. But he was certainly man on the spot there, wasn't he? Taking that ball.
Yeah, he seems to have got some speed as the Hull FC man. And it'll be Jake Carter looking to tag on the extras once more as we're in and around the 25th minute here at the Recreation Ground. BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. It's the West Cumbrian derby. Town are on top after the opening quarter.
Carter strikes. That was perhaps his least well struck, but it's 2 points added for Town. Currently it's Whitehaven 2, Workington Town 16.
And I'm surprised Anthony Murray hasn't started to ring some changes out there, and the likes of maybe Brad Brennan and Ellis Nixon being introduced, just trying to get some more impetus for Whitehaven. Just trying to, and Whitehaven, to be fair, they've been their own worst enemy. We mentioned last week in Whitehaven in the commentary about penalties, and it's happened the same this afternoon. The amount of yardage they've give up to Workington in the early stages, you just can't give a side like Workington the form they're in.
Yeah, and I mean you're doing that, and it's 30 metres that Workington are having to work for every time, isn't it?
Dan Abram with the kick-off, looking for that corner once more, and Djeukessi collects.
Yeah, and Djeukessi this time decides he'll take on the line. Takes on Hartley and takes on Newbegin. Stopped on the 20 metre line. Weir goes down that right hand side, goes to Cooper Howlett, who split the line, and he's over the 40 metre mark as well, and this is where he'll play it to Weir. They're rolling forward at the moment. Town. Ainley, he'll follow up as well, put down just his side of the halfway. Phillips moves into dummy half now, and he links with Stevenson. Stevenson out the back to Carter. Carter drops it back to Lennon Clark. The confidence levels have just rocketed all of a sudden for Workington. Now in this 16 points to 2 lead, Lennon Clark will play it. Phillips scoops it into the arms of Stevie Scully, and once again it's a meeting between him and Jordan Thompson, and Thompson gets the better of him on this occasion, forces the error. Yeah,
he certainly does. Great work from Jordan Thompson, right up to wind his mate up as well. Just a little bit of a rub on top of his head from Jordan Thompson. You've got to watch yourself these days. Look, you don't give a penalty away from that, but a bit of banter between the two. Yet again, you can see the smile from Stevie Scully. I imagine if that was a North Wales Crusaders player or a Midlands player, he might not have got up with much of a smile.
No, there might have been something more said probably at the back of it.
Probably something not broadcastable. Whitehaven getting ready to introduce Brad Brennan. It looks like Workington are going to reply. Yet again, set 2 between Scully and Thompson. Them two just sitting smiling and laughing at each other, not binding the scrum properly, and then they essentially set to Zoo. So one surprised me saying, are we going for a beer tonight? Yeah, we'll see afterwards. Yeah. Ball comes right from the base of the scrum arm into the hands of Chris Taylor. Taylor's going to be the man taken down. Here is Brennan and Nixon getting ready to be introduced for Whitehaven. That is Jordan Thompson's last action so far, with Brad Brennan being introduced. Whitehaven man is taking down Conor Holliday, short off halfway. Brad Brennan's now looking to be the man to take it forward and trying to get himself, keeps his legs pumping there, does Brad Brennan before Callum Phillips comes in and takes the former North Wales bad old Workington. I could be here all day, man. Down into the hands now with Pierce, finds Newbegin, out the back now to Abram. Oh, Dan Abram met there by Levi Atiga. He gets the offload away, does Dan Abram. Good contact from Atiga, and it's going to be for the penalty on for the high shot on Jack Newbegin. Wasn't really high, it was just sort of grabbed and just went onto his neck there, but you know, anything in that sort of area these days, you know it's going to be an instant penalty.
Yeah, you will, you'll get penalised for it as well. I noticed that Town preparing a couple of substitutions as well in the likes of Guy Graham and Lucas Castle, so they'll no doubt see some action in the next sort of minute or two.
Two formerly of this parish, of course, here at the recreation ground. Would it be Anderson Mouet to collect from the penalty, 15 metres out, into the hands now of Jack Kellett. Kellett nearly through the line, brought down 9 metres out to the left hand side of the post, attacking the railway end in the first half, into the hands of Brad Brennan once more. Brennan taken down within the shadows of the sticks here at the recreation ground. Look to come right once more into the hands of Ethan Bickerdike. Bickerdike straightens up in at half back this afternoon. Ethan Bickerdike, and just going to be brought down short of the try line. Holgate in there, the dummy half comes right in and Conor Holliday. Holliday Tristan turns out of the tackle. Oh, it's up. It's been given as a no try. Conor Holliday not happy with that call. Straight away, referee Adam Bonifonte looked at the judge and the judge waved away. There's not too many complaints just from Conor Holliday. Bickerdike as well.
That's a lead off for Town though, that. I mean, it was a brilliant run. The way that he hit that line and the angle, Conor Holliday, he's been amongst Whitehaven's best so far in this game, but has that try chalked off. It comes after 28 minutes and it gives Town this opportunity to bring the ball away from their own end. And I think they can thank the lucky stars that it's not 16-6 with a kick to come, but Lennon Clark taking this drive down the left-hand side. Max Clark took an earlier carry within the set as well, and so far they're 40 metres away from their own end. Carter dummies a couple of times, links with Weir out the back to Howlett. Oh, that's a good run from Howlett. Big charge at both Hartley and Newbegin. Now Weir scheming, gets it into the arms there of Lucas Castle. Big charge from him, first time out for this afternoon's encounter. Working the right side, Weir goes to Atiga. Atiga just seemed to roll in the challenge, put down 30 metres from that line. Last tackle, kick comes in, it's hoisted high. Should be a comfortable enough take for Abram, and is.
It's comfortable enough, but he's pinned within 5 metres of his own line. He's Dan Abram. Fantastic chase from the Town defenders. Whitehaven going to have some hard work to do here. Into the hands now of Mitchell Todd, and Todd's still going to be pinned behind his own 10 metres as we tick over to half an hour gone here at the recreation ground. Into the hands now of Chris Taylor. Taylor will look to try and get his arm up and push his defenders off, but he's not going to be able to do so. Whitehaven, third tackle, still behind their own 20. Into the hands now of Conor Holliday. Holliday looks to keep his legs pumping and brought down 23 metres out. Holgate in there at dummy half. Bickerdike was potentially looking to go for an early kicking at half back this afternoon, but fantastic defensive set from Town. They've limited Haven to within 23 metres. Galea will collect on the full, 30 metres away from his own line, brings it forward now, does the Town fullback.
Oh, and the error is forced. That's a superb hit in the tackle there. Absolutely brilliant from Jake Pearson. What a kick he was from Holgate as well, to be fair, to put Town in that sort of position. Galea was really bombing it out with gusto, wasn't he, from his own end, and then just the ferocity of the challenge forces that error, and there's an attacking chance here for Whitehaven.
Fantastic defensive contact up on there from Whitehaven. Holliday and Bickerdike, Jake Pearce involved as well. All three of them have put the shot there on Zarin Galea. Not often you get an error from the Town fullback. Whitehaven will look to take advantage now as we tick over to just under 9 minutes to go in the first half here at the recreation ground. So it'll be scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven, centre field, just over halfway. Come right from the base of the scrum into the hands of Chris Taylor. Taylor looking to get through the line there, but brought down 39 metres away from the Workington line. Holgate in there at dummy half. Come down this short right hand side. Conor Holliday goes through and takes another tackle forward.
He's having a great game.
Whitehaven captain plays the ball 28 metres out. Bickerdike pops it up into the hands now of Jake Pearce, pushes Jack Stevenson off. Not many do that as well. Holgate goes left into the hands then of Bickerdike, who straightens up and takes the line on. Taking down his Bickerdike 12 metres out. Holgate will dive from dummy half before going left to Kellett. Kellett now finds Newbegin. There's numbers there. Can Rio McQuiston get through? He's going to be pulled down on the 5 and last. There was a 3-on-1 on the left hand side. Whitehaven couldn't use it. Newbegin puts the kick in behind. It's going to have to be dealt with. Djeukessi is there and going to be wrapped up by Max Anderson on that side. It's a goal line dropout forced by Whitehaven.
You know what, that was a really good set that from Whitehaven. They were working their way through that middle initially. Like you were saying, Jordan, I can't remember a time this season when Stevenson has been pushed out of a tackle with such ease as he was done with that particular charge. But yeah, they've earned this of Whitehaven. Can they make the most of it?
Newbegin collects the goal line dropout. Brad Brennan now the man to fetch it forward. Stopped up on contact there. 30 metres out is Brennan as he's pulled down in centre field. Comes right into the hands of Jake Pearce. And it's going to be a tackle for offside of Workington. So penalty count now 4 apiece. You just feel Workington have come them penalties. They come obviously in the early stages, come when probably with a bit more momentum as well. Obviously game's a bit more evened out in the last few minutes.
It certainly has, and let's see if they can get the way over or get near the line now. Whitehaven with Brennan taken down 11-12 metres out in the shadows of the sticks. Holgate in there at dummy half, goes left into the hands of Newbegin, into the hands of Jack Kellett. Fantastic grab at the last moment. I think was it from Guy Graham who's involved in there. Jack Stevenson as well, brought down and metered out. Holgate pops it up into the hands of Brad Brennan. Brennan's going to be hauled down. That's really well defended, that.
Fantastic work from the Workington defence. Holgate once more in at dummy half, comes right into the hands of Newbegin trying to escape the clutches of the town defence before finding Bickerdike, puts a kick in behind. It's going to have to be dealt with. Dave Eccleston knocks it dead, and it'll be a second consecutive goal line dropout, a third consecutive set for Whitehaven.
You know what, Eccleston must have been a goalkeeper in a previous life, the way that he dived onto that floor then to get the ball dead, but I thought they defended that quite comfortably until the kick. The kick was a really good one from Bickerdike, and he's either Mr. Fix-It for Whitehaven because he's played in about 3 or 4 positions this season.
He's at the moment, is Ethan Bickerdike. Obviously Whitehaven struggling, half-backs and full-back of course, and that's why Dan Abram, who was obviously probably signed to go in at half-back, is in at full-back this afternoon. Picked up from the goal line drop-out by Rio McQuiston, and McQuiston is going to be brought down exactly 30 metres out. Newbegin in there at dummy half. And then judged to have lost it on the ground as Rio McQuiston. And Adam Belafonte isn't taking any sort of rubbish.
Yeah, it was a bobble on the floor for me. And it was only the slightest of ones, but
it was a bobble.
He spotted it.
Yeah, he spotted it.
Yeah. So it's going to be a scrum, and all of that pressure comes to nothing.
John Tigoli often said in his position as Whitehaven coach that if you can get a side defending 3 back-to-back sets, it's very unlikely they will be able to hold out, but Town able to on that occasion because of the error fetching the ball forward now. Yeah,
you want the dam to break, don't you, if you get a period of possession like that within the game. But Town back in possession. Max Clark plays it on his own 40-metre line. Lennon Clark pushes forward for a couple of metres gained, a couple of metres after contact as well. Phillips just checking round, goes to his right hand side. Castle puffs the cheeks, gets beyond that halfway line, gets the offload going as well. Nice pick up by Graham, and an offload finds Galea tried to burst into the backfield, but the tackle came his way from Bickerdike. They're 35 metres away from the line here, Town. Ball turned back to the middle with Graham. Graham tries to burst his way through, buys his side a few more metres. There's a knock on there on the deck, and Brennan.
Do you know how we had Stevie Scully versus Jordan Thompson? They've now brought the interchanges on, and it's just another big of a battle. There's 2 16s. Brad Brennan versus Guy Graham. That's been bubbling up since pre-season. That started in the Ike Southwood Memorial fixture. It carried on Good Friday, and they've just resumed where they've left off. So we scrum down, head and feet to Whitehaven. Just 4 minutes to the half-time hooter as we make it here at the recreation ground. It is Whitehaven 2, Workington Town 16. Tries coming from Levi Atiga, Andy Djeukessi and Lennon Clark. Ball comes right from the base of the scrum into the hands of Abram. Now finds Chris Taylor. Taylor's nearly through on this right-hand side before being hauled down. Abram in there at dummy half. Oh, that looked potentially forward to meet the Connor Holiday, but he's got away with one of Whitehaven just over the halfway line now. Holgate in there at dummy half, goes left into the hand now with Bickerdike, finds Keller out the back to Newbegin, once more cross to Rio McQuiston. I think that ball was once again out the back. I think they had another man overlap, but I think Town would have had the men to try and recover. Brad Brennan now looking to fetch it forward, met with by Lucas Castle, Callum Phillips and Cooper Howlett. 25 metres out of Whitehaven, in line with the left-hand side post. Goes down that left-hand side now with Newbegin, looking for the kick over the top. Max Anderson-Moore going to be on the chase. Max Anderson-Moore is going to be on the chase. Does he get the ball down? There's Max Anderson-Moore. It's going to be a top 20 over the dead ball line. Djeukessi will look to take the quick tap.
That was another great kick from Whitehaven into that corner. Djeukessi was living dangerously, and I think he's done a forward pass there to Zarin Galia. Oh, well, his luck ran out. I thought he was quite lucky in the way that
the referee wasn't looking, because he was looking to get back in position, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. But thankfully, the touch judge on that popular side has seen that forward pass from Djeukessi to Galia, and there'll be another scrum down for Whitehaven. 2.5 to half time as we make it. Can Whitehaven strike before we hear that half time hooter?
Let's have a see what they can come up with. They're about 25 metres away from the line. It's going to be Newbegin to feed.
I feel like if Whitehaven want to get anything out of this game, Dave, they need to score before half time. Biggerdike comes right to Dan Abram. Abram's trying to escape the clutches of Max Clark, but he can't do so. 20 metres out of Whitehaven, 10 metres in from this grandstand touchline. Into the hands now of Connor Holliday. Got through an awful lot of work as the Whitehaven captain in the first half, but he's brought down 13, 14 metres out. Holgate goes left into the hands now of Biggerdike. Biggerdike now runs through the line. Nathan Biggerdike just brought down at the last minute from Guy Graham, trying to get a fast play of the ball. Holgate has to dive in a dummy half. Comes left into the hands of Abram. Abram then finds Joe Hartley.
Oh, Town somehow managed to respond there. They've won a penalty of Whitehaven, but wow. Yeah. I think there was hands in at the tackle, to be fair, but they got men over, and they had no right to get any men over.
Certainly
at that stage.
Didn't. It looked like it. I mean, it was a loose passes. As Holgate looked to try and get it, trying to go for the quick pick up at dummy half following the play of the ball. Brennan now forward. Whitehaven have around about 80 seconds to try and get on this score sheet at the end of the first half here. Comes into the hands now with Biggerdike. Biggerdike with a kick towards the corner, searching for Mitchell Todd. Mitchell Todd just couldn't keep hold. Todd wasn't far enough out for that kick from Biggerdike. That wasn't the play that was on, and just not able to get his arm to it at the last minute was Mitchell Todd.
You know what?
Great effort, however.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from these two halfbacks with the kicking game, especially the shortened kicking game. When they're in the sort of position, this looks really threatening, and they were unlucky there. Great work from Dave Eccleston as well to get across, and Town lived to fight another day. Up by 16 points to 2 in this one. Djeukessi with the first carry of this set, plays it just behind his own 20 metre line. Now Atiga tries to go on the outside, rumbles his way forward for a further 10 metre gain. Phillips works dummy half. Hands in to Howlett. Howlett twisting, spinning. He'll almost reach the 40. Still inside their own end of the field as Phillips picks up and goes to Atiga. It's great when they've got these big bodies that they can just rely to get them away from trouble. But an error has come in from Atiga, and I'm sure that over this last sort of 15-20 minutes, John Tigoli won't be happy with these completion rates of his Town side, because they're inviting Whitehaven on, and you invite a side on to you enough, and you're going to get tries against you.
Yeah, I think we're about to get one play, potentially, maybe two. I make it, time is up, but referee Adam Belafonte will has held up. I think we'll get one play from this. Biggerdike can't get it from the scrum. Dan Abram, and that'll be it. Still waiting for that hooter to sound, but I do think this will be the last play of the half. And I think that just sums up Whitehaven's first half, Dave, I think.
I will say, good work from Workington to get in the faces for Whitehaven there. They were trying to play the ball wide, weren't they? And you can't blame them. They know that they've had quite a few opportunities in this game so far. Haven't managed to take any of them other than the 2 point penalty, which put them 2-0 in front after 6 minutes. And
be Workington with first use of the ball. And the kick-off comes now from the boot of Dan Abram.
Yes, and working to move into position to try and catch the ball. It's Zarin Galia, and straight away he offloaded onto Castle. Castle dragged to the floor, just over 20 metres from his own line in centre field. Phillips will play it out to this right-hand side to Djeukessi, who steps and then goes at Rio McQuiston. Once upon a time a former teammate for the England Community Lions in Italy a couple of years ago. Howlett follows through as well. That's a great charge from him. 12 metres gained as quick as you like from Cooper Howlett. They'll continue motoring down this right side with Atiga, and he's made loads of metres after contact. Makes about 15 metres in total, and will play it near the 40 metre line inside the Whitehaven half the field. Graham charges, gets just over that 40. Again, makes some metres beyond contact as well, and that's the impressive part of this first set of this second half, as Carter spools his kick away, spinning end and end, and it's well taken.
Yeah, fantastically taken by Mitchell Todd. But can I just say that's a fantastic set from kick-off from Workington Town. Made 60 metres there, fantastic, exactly what Jonty Gawley would have wanted. Chris Taylor's now the man to fetch it forward. He's brought down 28 metres away from his own line. Anderson Moore has dived in at dummy half, trying to help his side out here, but he's brought down after only making 4 or 5 metres forward there. Into the hands now of Joe Hartley, the back doing a lot of the works in the opening minutes, or the opening set of the second half for Whitehaven. 10 short of halfway now. It's into the middle with Keller. Out the back then to Jack Newbegin. Now finds Dan Abram. Then Max Anderson Moore. And then because Joe Hartley's had to go and do all the work over there, didn't really have an option, and Whitehaven have just had to sort of take the tackle through Max Anderson Moore. It's now the 5 and last into the hands of Jack Newbegin. Newbegin will get the kick away. End over end. Collected on the full by Zadin Galea.
Yeah, collected it just behind his own 20 metre line. Launches the counter attack. Gets over the 30 with his first carry. Wrapped up by 2 in centre field. He'll play this ball to Carter. Carter will send the ball left for Eccleston. Eccleston, big handoff coming in there. Gained a couple of metres too. He's put down on his own 40. Ends up being some good work over there by Mitch Todd in particular. Lennon Clark takes over. Solid surge from him towards halfway. Phillips checking what's on to his right hand side. Pops the ball into Carter's arms. He links with Weir. Weir handing on to Graham. Graham crosses the halfway line. He's won a penalty for his side as well. He always risks winning the penalty, doesn't he, Guy Graham, just because of the way he's got a real right running stance.
Yeah, I mean, he's still finding his way in rugby league. He's only been playing rugby league for 4 years. Coming to the game in 2021, he's still finding a way. He's Guy Graham, and you can see he's getting to know the nuances of that position more and more as he plays, Guy Graham, and it's making him a better forward.
And again, it's another 30 metres that Town don't have to work hard for. They've charged their way inside the 20 metre line now on the first carry through Howlett, over on this right hand side of the field, 15 metres in from touch. Phillips links with Weir. Weir drops back over his shoulder looking for Castle. Oh, referee wipes the tackle count down. Just 2 metres out from the try line. Phillips will go to this right hand side to Atiga. Atiga puts the step on, goes in, goes out, goes in and out again. Now takes the carry. Rio McQuiston grabs hold of what he can, drags him down about 5 metres from the try line. Phillips infield to Weir. Weir links it across to his left with Carter. He in turn finds Lennon Clark. That's a superb hit, but Clark gets the ball away, and Carter threads the kick through to the left hand side, and that's really well worked there from Whitehaven, who've won the penalty, because there was a high shot that was heading the way of the player who collected it.
Yeah, Mitchell Todd felt like that was the wrong play from Jake Carter. I know why he's done it, but Mitchell Todd had come back. I think the play was to go out and try and use that advantage while Mitchell Todd was trying to recover, then possibly being able to get the ball on the left hand side, and Dave Eccleston potentially for a walking in that left hand side corner. It's probably the first thing that Jake Carter's done run with ball in hand all afternoon. But Chris Taylor will be the man looking to take the tap from the penalty. Does so and finds Ethan Bickerdike, who then comes out to Brad Brennan, and Brennan looking to try and find forward. There's that man Guy Graham diving at his feet once more. Into his hands now with Pierce. Pierce then finds Newbegin. Into the hands now with Dan Abram. Comes out to Max Anderson Moore. Moore has to step inside. Joe Hartley's been taken down within there as well. Dan Abram has to be in there at dummy half. Newbegin then finds Kellett. Kellett loses it. I think it's been a sort of knock on from both, and it's going to be a scrum down, head and feed to Workington Town.
I was nearly going to praise Guy Graham then, because I thought what a pick up initially, but again it just bobbled on the floor. But as it was Whitehaven who came up with the first error, it's going to be a scrum on the halfway line, head and feed to Workington Town, and yet more position and more possession coming up for Town and at the start of this second period, which is now almost 5 minutes on.
And I think that's what Anthony Murray will say post-match, if obviously the result sort of stays the way it's going at the moment, that this side just didn't give themselves any sort of opportunity because of the amount of possession and position they were giving away.
What a great run that is from Max Clark off the base of the scrum as well. Makes a good 15 metres with the carry. He does look a handy runner. As Castle goes all direct to that 30 metre mark. Phillips in at dummy half once more, sends it left. Carter works it at the front man, which is Lennon Clark. Clark put down on the 20 metre line. Lightning quick play the ball. Phillips is away, links with Carter back in the middle. He brings it across to this right side and then drops it back over his shoulder for Guy Graham to try and make impetus, and he stopped just inside the 10 metre mark. Lining up down this right hand side. Weir plays the ball out. It was really scrappy. Ended up being a good defensive read as well, to be honest, from Holgate and Rio McQuiston.
he double pumped, and then he tried to switch and then go the other way and get the pass in. He maybe thought the man had overrun him and didn't want to go with the forward pass, and that just little bit of hesitancy. Maybe only a second and a half, but it's an awful lot of time on a rugby league field, and Aldgate's been able to put the shot in.
It was almost like he decided to spin his hand and try to pass it a slightly different way. It was a really odd movement, and well read by Whitehaven.
Ball comes from the base of the scrum into the hands of Chris Taylor. Just had to wait for it a little bit. Had to go out in the air, did Chris Taylor, a little bit higher than he will have wanted. Whitehaven start to ring the interchanges. Ellis Nixon and Clark Chambers being introduced to replace Jack Kellett and Jake Pearce.
Running chance for Holgate.
Holgate's lost. I thought he'd lost that as he hit the ground there. Addison Holgate. Referee Adam Belafonte disagrees with me. And Ellis Nixon then penalty for Whitehaven. Ellis Nixon fresh onto the field. It's been tackled by a Workington man who was offside. Cooper Howlett was that man, and now an opportunity for Whitehaven to put the ball down the field. And how far can Dan Abram make on this kick attempt? Well, it's not 30 metres, I'll tell you that.
It's a solid kick though.
15 metres as he's found there as Dan Abram. No doubt would have wanted a bit more length on that kick. Hadfield now finds Newbegin, he'll find then Clark Chambers. Only his 5th appearance of the season for Clark Chambers. Spent plenty of time back out on dual registration at Kells. Gets his opportunity this afternoon. Newbegin now finds Bickerdike, finds Abram, then finds Chris Taylor.
It's a good short ball that as well.
Shouts from the Kells end for a high tackle on Chris Taylor, but not forthcoming. Carter and Clark involved. 2 former Barrow Raiders team men combining there. There's Brad Brennan now taking the ball in. He's taken down 18 metres out.
Jamie Doran.
In line with the right hand side post, comes left into the hands now of Jack Newbegin. Newbegin then finds Bickerdike into the hands then of Dan Abram. Dabram with the bubble pump, then finds Hartley. Max Anderson Muir gone back left, knock on. Is it knock on in Whitehaven or Workington's favour? I think it's more likely to be from Max Anderson Muir rather than potential of the ball steal then lost from Workington Town. I do think he's going to be scrum down head and feet here to Workington Town, 10 metres away from their own line.
Certainly Workington were celebrating. Let's see whether or not it's a premature celebration or not. We're almost 8 minutes into this second half. Jamie Doran patrolling the touchline, waiting to get on, and it is going to be Town possession. You've got Don Weir just sort of shuffling over, ball in hand, ever so casual,
just trying to make an extra move it a bit further over.
Yeah, you mentioned Clark Chambers. I saw him in action the other week for Kells. He was very good down at
I've heard great
Kells.
Great reports of him being obviously within, and Djeukessi's being dragged towards the touchline. Great reports of him, playing up at Kells, but obviously he's been in a position where Whitehaven's probably one of better 2 players this season, the likes of Holiday and McQuiston, and he's really struggled to get in the team, but looked out there for an opportunity this afternoon.
Town, meanwhile, rolling forward. Howlett juggles with it, but somehow makes it as far as his own 30 metre line, only as far as Rio McQuiston's challenge. Chambers also involved in that tackle. Then it's rolled forward another 10 metres by Jamie Doran.
2 Kells men there, Chambers and Doran.
Now it's Carter, finishes the set, kicks it downfield.
There's no one there.
Eccleston's really like a bullet from a gun today, and in the end it just has to be dropped on by Mitchell Todd.
I've got to admit, I think that's the first time Dave Eccleston will have been described as a bullet. he will openly admit he's not the fastest winger in the world.
There's been a couple of times in this game where he's actually shot downfield, hasn't he, on the kick chase?
Certainly so. Dan Abram plays the ball. Second tackle, Max Anderson Muir looks to scoot from dummy half, but it's still just behind the 20 metre line, and Town's defence on top so far once again in this set. 9.5 gone in the second half here at the recreation ground. Still Whitehaven 2, Workington Town 16 here at the recreation ground. As Taylor's the man that's taken down, goes right from dummy half into the hands of Brad Brennan, and Brennan keeps them legs pumping, and it's going to be brought down 40 metres away from his own line, 10 short of halfway on the 5 and last. Goes down that short right hand side. Bickerdike gets the kick in left footed. Galea collects 28 metres away from his own line, searching for Djeukessi, but takes the line on himself.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was that much on from that kick, to be honest, from Bickerdike, and I'm sure that's what the message will be going out, that he needs better at the end of sets, does Anthony Murray and his Whitehaven side. Meanwhile, Town, it's knocked on there by Djeukessi within the tackle. Really good work from, I think it was Nixon. Yeah,
Nixon involved in there. It was a touch straight away that gave that call. Soon as the fumble, we could see his mouth move, knock on, and Adam Belafonte was just the wrong side of it, so he needed his touch judge there. Great call from the touch judge just in front of us. It was right in front of us as well, Dave, so we probably had a better angle of most people in the ground.
I don't know how you saw the back of it, because it was the back of his head. That's all I saw.
I'd just seen it move like knock on. I'd just seen this side of his. Do you know when you can just see that?
I'm not disputing it, by the way. It was a cracking challenge, and Djeukessi loses it.
Scrum down, head and feed to Whitehaven. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Newbegin feeds a scrum. Holgate goes right from the base of it. Newbegin then finds, keep going to say Kieran Tyder because he got 6 on the back, but it's Dan Abram who got the ball away to Mitchell Todd. Comes left into the hands now of Connor Holliday. Holliday taken down.
Loving his work this afternoon, by the way, Connor Holliday.
31 metres out. Biggerdike in there. Now comes left into the hands of Newbegin, then finds Dan Abram. Dan Abram with the show and go. Are we coming back for the penalty for the late shot on Jack Newbegin? We're not.
No.
But Dan Abram will play this ball 10 metres out into the hands of Clark Chambers. Chambers will run it forward. Tries to spin and twist his way up the tackle. There's Chambers. 5 metres out. 6 again in favour now of Whitehaven. They've got time to put the pressure on. Brennan finds Nixon.
That was good work between those two players, and Town trying everything to keep Nixon at bay.
And they do. 2-3 metres out. Holgate in there, the dummy half goes right to Biggerdike. Biggerdike tells to take the line on, and he's just hauled down his Ethan Biggerdike.
Yes.
Half a metre away from the line. Abram dives in at dummy half, comes left into the hands of Ellis Nixon. Whitehaven just need to bring this ball left. Holgate, they go right into the hands of Biggerdike. Wrong play, wrong choice. The left edge, Joe Hartley was screaming for it on this left hand side, and now just puts his hands up in the air and going, we had space, we had men, why did that ball not come left?
There was a bit of a disconnect in the attack there, definitely, wasn't there? It really wasn't on down that right side. Workington had it so well covered, and the pass wasn't up to much either, was it? It ended up trickling into touch.
Screaming for it was Joe Hartley, and didn't get ball, and it's now Town to fetch the ball forward.
Eccleston with the first carry, 12 metres away from his own line. That's where he'll play it to Doran. Doran will carry on the movement down that left hand side. Was that me, or was that pass a little bit suspicious to Clark?
Well, I mean, 3/4 of the Kells then thought it was. It wasn't just you, Dave.
Ball to be played 25 out from the Town line. Stevenson again grits his teeth, tries to go up the middle, has to yield just after gaining just a couple of metres. Doran, hard fought, kicks it long. Is it too long? It's got the bounce. That's a good kick.
It wasn't too far away from Badine, potentially over 40-20 there, was it? Just didn't get the length that he wanted on it, did Jamie Doran. If he got his angles just a little bit neater, he potentially could have got the 40-20, but it's going to be a play. It's going to be a play of the ball in the middle of field for Whitehaven.
It's not a bad play, that, though, to be honest, because they were struggling to get down the ground. There was some real ferocity from Whitehaven in the middle of the field. So when you've got someone who can kick from 9, I often say it, I love when you get a player that can kick from that position.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Doran's equally as good at 9 as he is at half back, and when you've got someone like that with that ability in the team, it's fantastic to have. Obviously being utilised a lot more at 9 by John Sigoli these days than he was in his time at Whitehaven. More, put in there at times when, sort of needs must, but being utilised as an out-and-out 9 for Workington these days. But it's even bigger. Dyke now finds Connor Holliday, tries to escape and does escape from the clutches of that tackle as Holliday, and gets his way over the halfway line. 10 in from the popular side touchline. Whitehaven attacking the Kells end in this second half. It's gone through 4 to 5 pairs of hands before now coming to the hands of Rio McQuiston, who's taken down. 39 metres out is McQuiston, shouting for the 6 again into the hands of Abram once more, who now finds Joe Hartley. Hartley looks to come back inside. It's the 5 and last. Whitehaven have made it to the Workington 30. Abram goes right into the hands of Newbegin, and Newbegin goes around the defence and runs through, then gets the ball.
What a hit, Howlett.
Fantastic work from Cooper Howlett, and tried to get the ball away, just couldn't there. It just hesitated once again, did Jack Newbegin, and then ball lost up on contact, be a turnover ball. Workington lucky to survive on that one. Great work from Newbegin, couldn't collect on it. 19 metres away from their own line. Town will start this.
I thought it was great secondary effort though from Howlett, the way that he cut him down and put him. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to make himself big because he's about 6'3" anyway, but he definitely managed to force that error, and Town back in possession. Djeukessi will play it about 35 out from his own line. Down it's Eccleston. Another carry from him. Doran just checking to his right, and Stevenson stretches out for the 40. Steady as she goes in this set so far for Workington Town, who still lead by 16 points to 2. Carter works it out to Galea. Galea goes at the line, put down on the halfway line. Good challenge down that far right hand side from Taylor in particular. Infield it's moved to Carter. Carter will link with Stevenson. Hit and spin from Stevenson, and he's grounded right on the halfway line. They've run through the allotted set of 6 tackles here, and it's left with Carter. Carter, he pumps that ball really high, and it's taken by Abram.
Yeah, 12-13 metres away from his own line when he collected that was Dan Abram, and Anderson Moore fetches Whitehaven up to 22 away from their own line. Into the hands now of Joe Hartley, and Hartley tries to get Whitehaven to the 30 metre line, but he can't do. Can the own low Midland centre. Coming down this short side, Holgate elects to keep hold of the ball himself and running laterally before then trying to take the line on, brought down 12 metres short of halfway. Bickerdike has to dive in at dummy half now, goes right into the hands of Abram, now finds Taylor gets around Max Clark and then finds Todd, and Todd's going to be dragged over the touchline. Fantastic work from the town defence, recovered Max Clark and got involved in that tackle and have taken the young man over the touchline on the far side, just over the halfway line. Haven 2, Town 16 in the 57th minute.
And that's encouraging from a Town point of view, because Max Clark, he was beaten all ends up in the run that came his way, but he mapped off and managed to make that tackle and add that extra weight to the challenge to get the player over the touchline. That's good defence. I mean, they have been really, really strong defensively in this game so far, have Workington Town. Yes, they've had the moments where they live dangerously. Yes, they've had the moments where they've given away possession in really strange positions and really invited Whitehaven onto them, but they've still only conceded the 2 points.
They certainly have. There's a bit of concern for Mitchell Todd. Whitehaven physio was with him, but he's got to be okay and gets the thumbs up from the physio to continue. So we've just taken a bit of a break, bits of getting some players getting some water on board. The rain has stopped I think in pretty much the half-time break, but it's still a warm, muggy afternoon out there, and it'll be a Workington Town play the ball, of course. Lucas Castle just short of halfway.
Yeah, Doran waiting dummy half duties. Castle plays it comes out to Djeukessi. Djeukessi does a stutter step and then takes on the defence, gets over halfway as well. Doran looking up, looking what's on around. Infield for Graham. Graham goes low. That was a typical rugby union sort of push forward then from Graham to the 40 metre line. Doran linking with Castle. Castle just a bit of late footwork, spinning and twisting at the line as well. He's so impressive when he takes on the line as well. That way he's Castle, and he's rolled his way to the 30. Referee just making sure everything's good as Stevenson takes over. Just had nobody to pass to his right hand side then. The move breaking down, but Town just rolling their way forward again. Graham, really did punch his way up the middle, and all on waves the match official as it's landed in Whitehaven arms.
I thought he was about to blow for a penalty there.
I did actually,
He put his whistle to the mouth, did Adam Belafonte.
It was the 2-16s meeting, wasn't it? Again, Brennan putting his weight into the challenge.
Now there's a mismatch change if I ever see one. Brad Brennan left the field, replaced by Josh Blinkhorn. There's going to be some changes out there. Looks like Ellison Holgate out to 13 potentially. We'll work out one out in just a moment, but Josh Blinkhorn taking his first action of the afternoon.
Blinkhorn at dummy half, works it to his left.
Into the hands now with Mitchell Todd, and Todd will keep his legs pumping before being taken down 7 short of halfway. Goes right onto the 5 and last. Is it Bickerdike potentially looking for the 40-20? If he's got the angle right, and he just hasn't, but it means Galea has to collect from within 3 or 4 metres of his own line here. Chase is good,
and he spins and he comes down that left hand side, eventually taken down by Taylor just over the 20 metre line. Once again, much of this game being played between the two 20s as Eccleston takes yet another carry. Scully preparing to return for Workington in place of Guy Graham. Meanwhile, Max Clark with a thunderous charge at the centre of the defence. Equally strong challenge heading his way by Chambers, however. And the going is tough so far for Workington in this set. Kick comes in.
He's gone for the 40-20.
From Weir, and it'll bounce, it'll bobble, it'll trickle inside the 20 metre line, picked up by Abram.
Yeah, Dan Abram collects the ball and fetches it forward. Didn't get the angle once again. There's been a few 40-20 attempts this afternoon from both sides, and neither of them have been able to get one as of yet. Abram brought down 30 away from his own line. Anderson Moore looks to scoot from dummy half, but good work from the Town defence. He only makes 2 or 3 metres. Joe Hartley, great work from Joe Hartley, and a fantastic hit from Stevie Scully. Jamie Doran and Lennon Clark gets involved as well as the third man to complete the tackle, but he's brought down 2-3 metres short of halfway. Blinkhorn in there at dummy half, goes right into the hands of Bickerdike, finds Abram, finds now Chris Taylor, and the Town's defence just swarming around them, each right hand side, left hand side edge. Great
defensive work again.
Bickerdike into the hands now with Clark. Chambers Looks to have been put the hit on there by Stevie Scully. Missed him initially, but has been able to do enough to complete the tackle. It's the 5 and last. Goes right to Biggerdike, left-footed. There's Ethan Biggerdike. It's going to be right down the throat of Zarin Galea, but he's only 8 metres out. Need a little bit of work to collect it there. Galea runs at blink on, but it's collected.
Yes, and Galea will now play this ball again inside his own 20-metre line to Carter. Carter turns it to his right-hand side to Eccleston. The way that the back line have got in for both sides has been admirable this afternoon. It's certainly been one of those sort of encounters as Djeukessi with the next carry. He seems to have picked up a bit of an injury there, or is he
doing a Christian Wade?
Well, he seemed to almost do the injury there, and he's got up.
I think he's done a Christian Wade there, hasn't he? Djeukessi.
Meanwhile, gets bundled into touch. Great work from Whitehaven. Superb tackle. Atiga gets up with a big grin on his face, but it's going to be pressure coming on board from Whitehaven, just 30 metres from the town line.
Yeah, and an opportunity here for Whitehaven, which neither side's had a lot of opportunity to ensure, to play quite close to their opposition's red zone, that 20 metres. Whitehaven will have an opportunity to start here, and I don't know if Djeukessi was faking it, or he'd seen Christian Wade had got away with it. Whatever it was, I'm not too sure. We'll keep an eye on that one in the next few minutes.
I don't think Howlett was very impressed.
No,
he was having a chat with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saying, what did you do? What was you doing?
Yeah, Nixon plays the ball, goes right now into the hands of Clark Chambers. Chambers is going to be pushed back a metre or so. Plays his 28 metres away from the town line, into the hands now of Newbegin. Newbegin throws the dummy in, collected then by Scully and Stevenson. 18 metres out in the shadows of the sticks here at the recreation ground, attacking the Kells end. Whitehaven searching for their first 4-pointer of the afternoon. It's now Ethan Biggerdike, 7 or 8 metres taken down to the left hand side of the post. Blinkhorn comes right. Alice Nixon wasn't on the run, was Nixon. Took it standing still, being pushed back. All the metres he had made there to Ellis Nixon. Whitehaven now play this 10 metres out. Blinkhorn comes left to Newbegin. Whitehaven seem a bit lost here. Holgate finds Biggerdike, obviously up once, and then finds Chris Taylor. Taylor looking for the offload.
They look like they're a man short each time in the movement to Whitehaven.
Yeah. Taylor eventually taken down. It's the 5 and last. Hartley once again screaming for it. Six again. Goes right into the hands now of Connor Holliday. So that will be first tackle. Whitehaven a metre out. Blinkhorn in there at dummy half, comes left. Biggerdike finds Newbegin. Newbegin will straighten up before finding Dan Abram. Bounces, goes behind Hartley. Hartley's had to collect, and Whitehaven's lost 15 metres there. 29 metres out as he'll play this, will Joe Hartley. Anderson Moore, McQuiston. Picked up and put down is McQuiston. 22 metres out. Blinkhorn out there at dummy half. Goes right into the hands now of Newbegin. Out the back to Biggerdike. Comes out the cross then now to Abram. Abram looks to go the dummy himself. Great work there from Jake Carter. 15 out now of Whitehaven. Comes into the left, into the hands of Clark Chambers. Sticks his head down, runs it forward as Chambers. Finds his front. 5 and last, 9 metres out. Blinkhorn in there at dummy half. Goes himself before finding them Biggerdike. Now Newbegin. Newbegin then finds Abram. Abram finds Anderson Moore. And the pass just wasn't on. It wasn't the pass that Max Anderson Moore needed.
I'll give some credit to Anderson Moore here though, because he'd spotted the space and he was communicating with his inside players saying, we want this ball, we want this ball, we want this ball. And unfortunately, like you said, Abram was perhaps a little bit too ambitious with his pass, because to be fair, had he linked it, it was a 25 metre looping ball. It would have been a worldie. It'd have
been a worldie of a try, but couldn't come off for Whitehaven on that occasion. We've just headed in to the 65th minute here at the recreation ground. Still remains Haven 2, Town 16.
I know, I can't believe that we've not had any change to the score. But then again, defence is on top this second half, and Eccleston wrapped up by, at one point, 4 Whitehaven players into the stop. Now there's just Taylor there. Infield it comes to Scully, set himself for a big drive and gets it. And then Holgate drops straight on him. Play the ball comes in, Doran linking with Stevenson. Hard fought metres again through the middle from Stevenson. Ross Ainley preparing to return for Workington Town, who are just 30 metres from their own line. Doran has the ball batted back into his own hands by Blinkhorn. As a result, there's another set of 6 tackles coming up for Workington Town. In centre field, he'll play it to Galea. Galea will move it left to Lennon Clark. Again, it's been a wholesome effort from Lennon Clark this afternoon. He'll play it midway between the 30 and 40. Loop pass up for Carter, who drops it back for Stevenson. Again, challenging that middle, wrestling his way forward, stretching everything. Castle's gone off. Ainley back on now. Doran. This time go to the left hand side. Carter back inside looking for Galea.
Fantastic work from Blinkhorn, wasn't it?
Really was. He went airborne there. It was like watching Superman diving in for the challenge. Now Ainley goes through that middle, drags 3 defenders in. Good yards in this set now for Workington. 35 out from the line. Scully will chalk a few more metres off now. He'll eventually be wrapped up by 3 defenders on the edge of the 20 metre mark. Doran goes to his left. Carter puts it on the toe. He's got some good positioning. There's a real contest. The ball's loose on the deck. Referee has called a knock on, and I fancy this is going to be a turnover.
Yeah, you very often get that in the defensive favour, don't you? They often say in football you should give the attacker the benefit of the doubt, but in rugby league it very often goes to the attacker or that man waiting for the ball if you're challenging in the air. It's very rare you get a penalty in your favour as the attacker, and while it isn't a penalty, it's a turnover ball. Whitehaven will start this 10 metres away from their own line. Holiday plays it, finds then Chris Taylor. Jordan Thompson getting ready to come back on for Whitehaven down below us. Plays the ball, does Taylor. Blinkhorn now finds Mitchell Todd. Continues to pump his leg, does Todd. Brought down 21 metres away from his own line, and it's Clark Chambers, the man that'll be withdrawn for Jordan Thompson to be back out there. Now Rio McQuiston. He'll take Whitehaven to 33 away from their own line. 20 from this populous grandstand touchline, I should say. Dan Ellis and all get
fierce run.
fierce
challenge
and a fierce shot, yeah. Plays the ball, comes left from Blinkhorn to Newbegging, finds Hartley. Hartley's trying to get the ball to Anderson Road, but he's had to keep hold of it himself. Has the centre, is now the 5 and last, just over halfway. Blinkhorn's in there at dummy half, goes right to Abram. Abram will get the kick away. It's a spiralling kick, and Galea collects it.
Did well underneath that one, did Galea, and now he starts the counter-attack straight at Blinkhorn. For me, I wouldn't run at Blinkhorn. He's a superb tackler. And this attack for Workington will start 25 out from their own line. Weir ducks down this right side, just buys another couple of metres before Blinkhorn wraps him up. And Djeukessi, he'll take on Blinkhorn, beats him on this occasion, but can't escape the clutches of Joe Harley. That's a real strong challenge there. Weir spins it into the middle of the field. Atiga is there, just giving his side a little bit more width and getting forward towards halfway. Those are hard fought metres from Atiga. Ainley, next run comes in from him. Holgate just went a little bit high, and as a result there's another penalty here for Workington Town.
Yeah, I think it was Ethan Dickens, the man that had got involved, and I think the Workington Town man had just slipped Ainley up on sort of contact there, and it sort of allowed that arm to come in for the high tackle. Nothing malicious in it. No, there wasn't much in it at all. There's nothing malicious in it, but it's one of them these days. It gets given as the heavens open once more here at the recreation grounds.
Carter will put this into touch. Picks up 15 extra metres for his side. They'll start 25 out from the Whitehaven line. Max Clark will tap. Turns the ball to his right. The ever willing Lennon Clark is there. What a good carry that is, but he's ending up losing a couple of metres there as well as the defence came in from Holiday. Still on that 20 metre mark. Workington Town. Ainley chalks off another 5 metres. Wrestles his way to his feet. Doran dummies to the right. Now puts it out to Weir. Weir taking on the line again. He's dangerous from this sort of position. Stopped 5 metres out from the try line now by Kellett. Then Galea goes from dummy half. It's a lone raid, and as a result he's well wrapped up underneath the shadow of the post. Doran to his left. Stevenson slips it out to Ainley. Ainley trying to stretch for the line, but he's going to be put down just still inside the field of play. Last tackle signalled here. Doran takes it to the left. Now Galea kicks back to the right. Djeukessi contests, ball popped up, Atiga's diving, but there's no try. Referee has spotted a little nudge forward there. Man on the spot, and that's probably the closest that we've come to points in this second half.
Yeah, it come off the shoulder of Djeukessi, didn't it? And just as it went up and went forward to Levi Atiga, 10.5 to go here at the recreation ground. It still remains Haven 2, Town 16. It looks like it'll be Workington keeping the West Cumbrian bragging rights that they got in that Good Friday derby back in the Easter period, as Whitehaven now fetching it forward through Mitchell Todd.
It's been really hard for this though, hasn't it?
It has in the second half.
What a slog.
A real war of attrition out there, hasn't it? in conditions that match pretty much probably what they played similar in Easter, despite obviously us being now it's the middle of summer, and I say that with quotation marks. Meant to be summer. Comes left into the hands now of Jordan Thompson, and Jake Pearce back out there to replace Ellis Nixon. As Thompson's taken down, 8 short of halfway. Newbegin now pops it up to Jack Kellett. Kellett wrapped up. He's the 5 and last on halfway. Comes left to the short side to Newbegin. Newbegin gets the kick in. Plenty of pressure being put on him by Stevenson.
Yeah, he hung that high, and Galea catches it, links with Stevenson. Stevenson trying to go around the outside. He's getting confidence in this game, isn't he, Dave Stevenson? Plays it just on his own 20-metre line. Max Clark takes over. It's been a really solid debut for Max Clark. I've been impressed with his defensive attitude, and certainly he's been an ever-willing runner from that sort of position, from deep within his own half. Phillips is back on for Town as well. Doran's still out there. Djeukessi to play it, 35 from his own line. Doran in the middle. Turns it to Carter. Carter at the back to Galea. Galea throws a dummy. Oh, he's burned them off in midfield. He's got Lennon Clark inside. Lennon Clark will charge his way to the try line from 30 metres out. But that was all Zarin Galea class as he broke through on the left-hand side. Waited until the defence came up to him. And I think that may just be game, set and match to Town.
I was just about to say, Dave, if it wasn't game, set and match beforehand, it certainly was now. Fantastic work from Zayn Galea. The show and go broke down that left hand side, and then Lennon Clark in support, as he was for his try earlier in the piece as well, Dave, when Jake Carter broke through. He's just really there in support. I was going to mention there as well, before that try had come in, that obviously Callum Phillips has been brought back onto the field, and now Town with an extra pivot out there because it was Cooper Howland that was withdrawn. So I think probably Jamie Doran now moved to loose forward. So then you've got now Phillips, Doran, Carter, Weir and Zarin Galea all in there, all strike players, all pivots. Jonty Gawley wanted that try just to ensure there was going to be no issues, and then final minutes he's got it as soon as that change has been made.
Yeah, and as soon as it was all those players linking up as well, wasn't it, as the ball went over to that side of the field, and Galea with the pace to get through the line initially. 20 points to 2 with this kick to come. But yeah, 2 tries from Lennon Clark. You were asking me before about whether he'd scored for Town, and he's come up with 2 now in this game.
Come up with 2 now, yeah. He's come up with, he scored. That was after the first try. I was like, oh, that, to me, I hadn't got it next to me. I was making sure. Yeah, it's just his 4th appearance in Workington Town colours now. His 2nd Town try, and Carter looks to tag on the extras.
A real quality addition to this Town side. Carter, meanwhile, does tag on those extras. Make that Whitehaven 2, Workington Town 22. 3 goals out of 5 now for Carter this afternoon.
Yeah, we make it to 7 minutes to go here at the recreation ground. You can hear the chants of Uchiwawa. Normally here at the recreation ground, that's coming from the Whitehaven fans. Okay. It's not coming this afternoon. It's coming from the Kells End, the back of the Kells End, and it's coming from the blue and white fans of Workington Town.
So is that normally a well-sung song here?
It is. It's a Cumbrian song. No one really knows the origins of it.
Yeah.
But every rugby league club in Cumbria seems to have some sort of stake for how it come to be their song.
I need to find out more. This is why I want to get involved. Djeukessi takes that kick on the full, starts to charge down this right hand side of the field, and he's eventually put down just inside his own 30-metre line. We are at dummy half into the arms of Atiga. Atiga goes direct, goes right over the top of Blinkhorn. He's made the break now, over halfway line he goes. I didn't fancy the chances of Dan Abram, but he did really well there. And Jack Newbegin, he's in all kinds of problems.
He's
behind.
in all kind of problems.
As Duran links with Carter. Carter splitting the line now.
We're going to have a stoppage, doctors enter the field.
Have this game stopped now. Wow.
Won't say too much on that, but Jack Newbegin looked like he was more in Disneyland than the recreation ground there. And when you're short of halves anyways, you've got one recognised half really. But obviously with it being Jack Newbegin, you know, Whitehaven won't want to lose him, but for me that looks like his afternoon done, and if it is his afternoon done, that'll be next week done as well at a minimum.
It was a rampaging run, wasn't it, from Levi Atiga that created all the problems. He was one of 2 players that he managed to burst his way through. We make it that there's about 6 minutes remaining here. Loads of concern being shown for Jack Newbegin. They've got to go through all the protocols, haven't they, for head injury assessments.
Well, why we don't focus too much on that? Why don't we see the scores around Rugby League elsewhere this afternoon? In the Super League, it's currently Castleford 14, Waddington 10. Down into the Championship, Batley 16, Halifax 10, Sheffield 6, London 24. The HIA does come out, so the Ellis Nixon going on to replace Jack Newbegin. Widnes 0, Doncaster 10. That's a full-time score.
That's a great result for Doncaster, that.
York 20, Barrow 6. Down into League 1, Dewsbury 14, Swinton 6.
Ooh, that's a good result.
Gould 26, Keighley 6.
Wow.
Newcastle 0, Rochdale 44.
Probably expected. Meanwhile, we're back underway here, and Town take over, going downfield again through Stevie Scoley. This time he's tackled just outside his own 20, the Whitehaven 20 metre line as Carter spins it out to Clark. Good tight defence there on Clark. He's run through their allotted set of 6 here. It's the last tackle. So Phillips awaits dummy half duties, gives it to Carter. Carter just dabs it over the top and ends up being quite a meek and mild kick in the end, which Abram deals with comfortably.
It's sort of like the banana kick. I think he was hoping to catch them short right-hand side defenders.
He's not quite Derek Fox.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. But he tried to catch them off guard there and didn't get the kick that he'd have wanted. But Whitehaven finding it tough, bringing it forward now. Joe Hartley's the man that's taken down 12, 13 metres into the hands now of Ellis Nixon. Trying to work out who's going to be playing half-back here for Whitehaven at the moment. It could be Jack Kellett potentially. New beginning there at dummy half. Blinkhorn in there at dummy half. Now finds Jake Pierce.
Certainly Kellett's doing all the chat, isn't he?
Biggerdike gets the kick in.
Oh, that was played that by Town.
Played that, but it'll be collected by Galea.
Yes, he collects it just inside his own 40 metre line. Does a bit of a dive to jump over that 40 metre line as well. And now he'll play it to Carter. Carter to his left hand side to Eccleston.
Just a note, we mentioned about Widnes Doncaster being full time. Isn't Jake Mason's picked up what looks like a nasty looking injury sort of 20 minutes ago, and he's still being assessed by the doctor.
Right, okay.
So we wish him well, the former Whitehaven man.
Yeah, hopefully nothing serious there, and it's all just precautionary as Max Clark works his way 35 out from the Whitehaven line. Doran rolls across to the right, takes on Pierce, then he regrets it. So this ball will be played on the 30 metre line, out to the left of Carter. Carter rolls it into the backfield. It's a solid kick. Again, Eccleston, he's diving after it. He's had a right afternoon as Dave Eccleston chasing these kicks. I get the feeling he's enjoying coming back to play at Whitehaven. Here. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I wondered what you meant.
Coming back to play here.
Sounds like what you meant. Yeah, on his return. Yeah, of course. I was
his return.
I was going to say, I don't think I've missed that news. But it will be the goal line drop out, forced by Dave Eccleston, following that obviously Mitchell Todd having to bat it dead with into the 3.5 minutes to go as we make it. Dan Abram with the goal line drop out, collected by Galea, 45 away from the try line.
Yeah, Galea picks up Ainley, and Ainley charges back. You know what? He's had a big grin on his face all the way through this game, and it's just like he relished getting hold of that ball then. And he runs it to the 30 metre line, off to the right with Atiga. Atiga concentrates his efforts at Blinkhorn, goes over the top of Jake Pierce as well. Jeez, he's a beast when he's got hold of that ball. Now on the charge is Stevie Scoley off Dom Weir, 10 metres out from the line. Can they finish with a flourish here? Workington off to the left hand side with Doran long ball out to Carter, much shorter pass to Lennon Clark, who's rolled to the floor 5 metres from the line. Out on the far left hand side of the field, inside it comes to Doran drops it on the toe, chases after it, and Kellett picks it up. It's a good bit of defensive work there from Kellett, but he's forced behind his own line. It's going to be another dropout, and this is some good late pressure, and it'll be this sort of stuff which will impress John T. Gawley, I think, because this is when you've got control. It's keeping control and keep working on it.
Ever since that no try obviously from Levi Atiga, since then Town had been on top. Whitehaven really haven't had a sniff. It's another goal line dropout.
Finds Carter, 35 out from the line. He links with Stevie Scoley, who charges back towards the 20, and that's where it'll eventually be put down. Some wonderful work there from Stevie Scoley. Does a lot of unheralded stuff, doesn't he, Stevie? Off to the left with Carter again. Carter taking on the line. The defence is there. Carter still manages to gain a couple of metres post contact, and he's inside the 10 metre mark. Again, ball comes back towards the middle. Phillips links with Doran. Doran tries to put a bit of footwork on Bickerdike, but he comes up with that stop too. And they start this attack again, 5 metres out. Carter out to Weir. Weir, short ball. It was never really on. It's been picked up by Galea, but it is going to be brought back. Knock on. Disappointing end to that particular set.
Yeah, Jack Stevenson, I just don't think was expecting that ball. I think he was expecting to be a dummy there, a dummy runner, and for Weir to come out the back, and it just wasn't on there. I make it into the sort of final 75 seconds here at the recreation ground. It is still Whitehaven 2, Workington Town 22 on BBC Radio Cumbria Sport Online. Keller, yeah, definitely the man that's gone to half back. Blinkhorn at the base of the scrum, comes into the hands now of Chris Taylor. And Taylor has shown some strength there, is Chris Taylor, not trying to be put to the ground, but it is being put down eventually. 15 away from his own line. Brad Brennan back out there, just recently reintroduced to replace Jordan Thompson. Blinkhorn in there at dummy half, comes right to Bigger Dyke. Bigger Dyke going to go down that right hand side, but he's brought down 8-9 metres short of halfway. Into the middle now with Jake Pearce. Pearce then comes out the back to Kellett, then finds Dan Abram, now finds Joe Hartley. Hartley looks a step back inside, trying to get away from Jamie Doran. He has done so, got away from Callum Phillips there as well. Great work from Joe Hartley. In the end up, unfortunately, not too many metres made for Whitehaven.
Yeah, but and he managed to find Jamie Doran, strangely enough.
Again, yeah, like magnets them two there, weren't they? Into the hands of Kellett once more, pops it up into the hands now with Nixon. I make it within the final 5 seconds, but that is unofficial. Kellett gets the kick in on the 5 and last. It's
that
going to
looked like a banana
bounce.
type kick. Eccleston's going to have to try and attack
back
it.
Into the hands of Conor Holiday. Holiday back inside then to Ellison Holgate. And just like at Derwin Park back on Good Friday, Whitehaven will score late on. The hooter's about to sound, and John Tugol would be really disappointed that his side haven't been able to keep Whitehaven out. Obviously it was the 2 points earlier on, but that come from, you mentioned, a banana-like kick. I don't think it's what Jack Kellett meant to do, but end up Whitehaven have been able to take advantage. It is now Whitehaven 6, Town 22.
I'll disagree with you. I think that he did actually meant to put a little bit of spin on it, but the way that they actually contested it at the back end was really impressive. And Holgate, the man who dived his way under the post. Abram adds on the extras. We've reached full time here. It's Whitehaven 8, Workington Town 22.